the San Diego scene for AP. Lot to get into. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How about you?
We're good. We're good. Just reading up a little bit more on San Diego State in this situation. Give me your interpretation of what just happened this last week with the request for an extension from the conference, and the conference quickly came back and said no.
Well, it sounds like the Getty Little Aztecs are in a little bit of a bind.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a lot of money at stake, and state colleges probably shouldn't get themselves in a bind when there's a lot of money at stake. I mean, that's just my view from the peanut gallery. But I guess it's not a laughing matter, but it just seems so San Diego. Bad things happen in the sports market. And it just seems like, bad things could happen to the Aztecs if the Mountain West doesn't grant this extension or doesn't negotiate, something acceptable to the Aztecs. I mean, it sounds like, for lack of a better term, that the Aztecs could be over a barrel, especially if, they have to pay double the exit fee, and it doesn't sound like they have that money, and sounds like whatever fee they pay, if they wanted even the lower fee, they wanted to pay in installments. So, it doesn't sound good.
Was there some sort of at best, miscommunication, at worst, a rift between the athletic department and the administration that led to this?
I don't know. I'm sorry, between the conference and the
I thought between maybe the administration and the athletic department.
Oh, the administration. Yeah. I'm going to try to say this as delicately as possible. I'm not a big fan of San Diego State's administration. and I say that having lived here for 31 years, having seen various things go on over there. And it just seems like when administrations get involved in athletics, it's like when politicians try to get involved in sports, things don't always turn out well. And I'm just going on a couple of, just a real quick example. The whole Matarized rape accusation last year, the administration managed to bungle the public response to that, and just didn't handle things publicly the way it could have. And now we're talking a move with millions of dollars at stake. And let's face it, how embarrassing would it be if the, Mountain West accepts their, resignation or kicks them out or whatever, and then they don't have a place to go. Let's say the Pac-12 implodes or doesn't want them, or the Big 12, doesn't want them, whatever. I mean, you always have to take worst-case scenarios into mind, and maybe and the other thing that chaps me too is, this is a public university, and we in the media always strive for, a little bit of disclosure and whatnot. It'd be nice if they would release the copies of the letters on both sides. Seems to be past the point of no return as far as sensitivity to negotiation. So maybe the administration got a little cocky and thought, hey, we're San Diego State, the Pac-12 wants us. We're going to drop a bomb on the Mountain West, and here we are. I have heard, one of the reasons I know they're very arrogant up there is I once heard someone describe San Diego State as the big San Diego State machine. And it's like, okay, to which my response is, remember, you're a public institution.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of these people in places, they just don't seem to remember that public institution thing. So maybe the president got ahead of herself, but clearly the Mountain West is operating from a position of strength as well it should. I mean, that's what America's all about, right? We get leverage and use it to the max.
It's the voice of Bernie Williams and Cofield Company. Check that. Bernie Wilson. I'm a big Bernie Williams fan, New York Yankee.
So that's okay. It's not a bad guy to be compared with.
Bernie Wilson.
Yeah. Or misidentified as.
AP writer in San Diego. Correct me if I'm wrong. When the whole debacle went down with the Big East, that had to be a much different administration. It's not the same administration. I mean, we're talking 11, 12 years later, and it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, there was a different president, a different AD. I mean, that's the whole thing about, look, I'm all for higher education, but higher education is badly broken in this country, badly. And I say that having, one college graduate in our family and one who found the college wasn't his thing, so he dropped out and did something else. But having paid, just even at public schools, breathtaking tuition.
Mm-hmm.
You get robbed every time you walk into a college bookstore, literally. Administrations change because people go on to bigger and better jobs, bigger paychecks. That's how higher ed seems to work. ADs move up the chain and replaced by some peppy younger person, and same with college presidents. Yeah, it's a whole different administration, whole different scene. But yeah, similar thing. It's just that time seemed to be a little safer. This time, if you read the tea leaves as far as worst case scenarios, they could be without a home. I mean, it's probably not, but not only is the Mountain West apparently taken advantage of having the upper hand here, but the Pac-12 and Big 12 can take a look at San Diego State as a possible expansion partner and work them over for a little less than maybe what they could get. So San Diego State apparently, is drawing the short straw on both sides of this. I don't know if they thought things were going to be a lot smoother and they could just sail through it or what, but yeah, it's and again, having covered San Diego sports for 3 decades, you always have to look at worst case scenarios first. And it just appears that the state faces them on both ends.
And you make a really good point about the position they're in now, because conferences and presidents will take every opportunity they can when they add other schools. If that school doesn't have leverage, like USC and UCLA have leverage going into the Big Ten, they're going to walk right in and they're going to get a full share. Other schools in the past, like Nebraska, Rutgers, and Maryland, go into the Big Ten. You know what? When you get your full share, 5 years in, you know what that does to a program programs in terms of competitiveness? It crushes you. So you don't want to be in that position with the Big 12 or the Pac-12. So tell me your gut feeling. You're in California, so you're certainly aware of what goes on in the Pac-12. What do you think's going on with Kliavkoff? Why is this taking so long? Is he going to come out of this? As so many of the couple ADs and presidents have said, we're gonna have more money per school than the Big 12. Do you believe that?
No, not at all. No. I mean, when you lose your 2 marquee programs to the Big Ten of all places, that to me is still shocking. I mean, my wife went to SC, our youngest boy went to UCLA, and I've covered the Pac-12 back into the days when it was the Pac-10, when it had barely emerged from the Pac-8 days. I'm old, so you lose your 2 marquee programs. You lose, for the time being, the Southern California market. And I don't see how they think they're going to get more. I mean, they're probably, maybe it's taken so long because they're begging broadcasters to take them or to give them a decent deal, maybe not even a fair deal. But I mean, how do you go around selling the Pac-12 without SC and UCLA? And with, you keep hearing, the corner schools might bail, Oregon, Washington could bail. They could be happy it's just being the Pac-10. But, on the other hand, the one thing that is in San Diego State's favor is how on earth would the Pac-12/10, whatever it's going to be, how would you just abandon Southern California? I mean, San Diego certainly isn't LA as far as population and sports market, but it is Southern California. It's a great destination, especially in late October, November. The basketball team down here, if they were paying attention up in the Pac-12, made it all the way to the national championship game. The football team has a long way to go, but it's as far as West Coast, the Aztecs are a marquee basketball team. You guys have seen enough of them over there in Vegas.
Too
whether
much.
Exactly. That's the point. I mean, yeah. And so there's that going for for the Aztecs, but again, that just seems like a real hard sell for the Pac-12 to try to sell itself with two of its two marquee members preparing to walk away next summer.
Well, they couldn't sell it with them. I mean, I still can't watch the games. It's infuriating.
Well, that's a good point. Well, I guess you'll be able to see, UCLA and USC once they're in the Big Ten if you get the Big Ten factor. I can't wait for a Big Ten championship game between USC and UCLA at the Coliseum one of these forthcoming seasons,
That'll be
or the Rose Bowl. Although I think it'll be at the Coliseum.
Bernie Wilson's with us. So I'm going to go a different direction here. It's interesting. Bernie's the AP writer in San Diego. Bernie, I started to tell the story in hour one. I was kind of teasing ahead. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I was eavesdropping on you after a San Diego State UNLV game because I'm on the UNLV broadcast crew. And you went on one of the greatest rants I've heard in a long time. And I was like, this guy is a lot more than sports. You were ranting about Social Security. You're a little older than me. But I remember what you were talking about, and it was just basically it was, hey, they're going to take this away from us, and you were getting all heated up. So I was like, you know what? I want to lean on Bernie for this one because I think San Diego did the right thing. It may suck, and you can tell us I'm wrong on this. When San Diego basically told the Chargers, no, we're not giving you public money. We're not giving you the exact deal you want to be down in the gas lamp. And in the end, they put it to a public vote, and the town told them no. And a lot of that was Spanos. I wanted your reaction on, I'm sure you paid attention to it, what we just did with the A's, giving them $380 million from the state of Nevada and the county. In the end, it's probably going to benefit them to the tune of $1.5 billion, especially with your experience watching what happened with Spanos and that effort to give public money to sports.
Yeah, first of all, I still feel that same way about Social Security, by the way. And it's interesting the conversation sports writers have after games. It doesn't take much to get us riled up. But, that's a very interesting dynamic because I guess the Nevada legislature likes to give away a lot of public money to billionaires or at least multi-millionaires. I guess it's a sad situation in the Bay Area. That Oakland has lost the Raiders to Vegas. It lost, the Warriors across the Bay to San Francisco, and now it appears to be losing the A's. On one hand, I haven't been following the stadium proposals too close in Oakland, but having covered the Charger fiasco for 15 to 20 years. At a certain point, communities just have to say to owners, we're not going to build your palace. Go somewhere else. It's a hard thing. It was tough. It's tough for any city to lose any franchise, let alone an NFL team. But the Chargers had worn out their welcome, and I guess what I find funny about the whole thing is that Mark Davis used the same design in Vegas that he and Dean Spanos were going to use for their pie-in-the-sky proposal in carcinogenic California.
Yep.
So I don't drive through Vegas much, but every time I do, I get a good chuckle out of that. And, it's unfortunate. It doesn't sound like the owner of the A's has the best interest of the fans at heart at all, nor does the MLB commissioner. It's a business, and they're going to do what they want because it's his team. Manfred's going to back him up. Let me just say it's very unfortunate for the fans of Oakland. The fact that nothing has been done there over the years, having seen that here, I would tend to blame team ownership because team owners like to, have cities not only build stadiums for them, but they like to have them run them too, because they don't want to own them. They want somebody else to run them. They want 100% of the profits and 0% of the losses and the risk.
Bingo.
Is how the Chargers thing ended up. And but then again, Vegas is a different animal. It seems like, as far as the gambling, the betting, everything going on there. Maybe it's just a whole different economy where this is going to work. It certainly wasn't going to work in San Diego because nobody knew where the money was going to come from. The team just wanted it to be from somewhere other than their own bank account. So I guess from afar, that's all I can say. Bummer for the fans of Oakland, and good luck making it work in Vegas.
We have a minute left. Bernie Wilson's with us, AP writer in San Diego. Do you ever talk to anyone? Is there a strong contingent of people down there that are actually mad about what happened with the Chargers in terms of saying, hey, that was a mistake. We should have done that. We should have just given them the money. We'd have NFL football here.
There's a handful, but not many. There's still some old timers who blame City Hall. I mean, there was plenty of blame to go around. There were 2 or 3 or 4 different mayors involved. That's how long and ugly it was. But for the most part, most fans hate the Chargers. Some of them hate watch and hope that they fall on their face, which they often do because they're the Chargers and that's in their DNA. There's a lot of people who profess to have sworn off the NFL for good. There's a lot of people who are following the Padres, but they, of course, have their own problems, as you can see by the standings and the stats. But, the NFL ship has sailed. I don't believe we're ever going to get the NFL back down here. It's too expensive, any relocation, unless one of these super-duper billionaires buys the team. But then where are they going to put with the stadium? I mean, that's what the Chargers wrestled with City Hall and others with for 15 to 20 years. And there are spots, but it could take years to clear them and develop them. So I think the NFL is done and gone in San Diego.
Bernie, you're awesome. We're big fans. Thank you so much. And we want to get you on down the road to talk some Pod Squad stuff, but more pressing
anytime.
stuff in front of it. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.